Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to be going over a person's palette over on Discord. Romeo, guys, that's one of the perks of being on Discord is that you can post your work over there, ask for help, and I'm going to put a video on helping you. Now, just because this is geared towards Romeo does not mean it's not going to help out other people as well. All new selectors should be watching these videos because common mistakes that he's making, more than likely you are making them as well. So guys, watch these videos and hopefully I can help you be a better selector and use these tips for the next time you're out on the floor. All right, guys, so the first palette I'm going to look at is this one right here, and I immediately want to go to the corner, okay? So throughout my videos, you always hear me say, higher on the palette, it's not a big deal. Lower on the palette, it's a big deal. And that's this low corner with this high inside. Now, I don't know what is below these cases, because this case and that case look identical. So this is a result of our first, I'm guessing our first layer right here. So we got a can here, and more than likely the can on the inside is a little bit higher. Guys, when you're this low on the palette and you got a low corner like this, even though it's minute, now picture we go to tie this in and we put a case this way. Now that case is going to have a slight lean to it. And believe it or not, when we get higher up the palette, you keep putting cases on there, that lean gets a little bit steeper every single time that you do it. So it is so important to have those high corners. If there is one thing you guys take away from this channel, it is high corners. The only time a low corner is going to work out for you is if it's a big surface, like say this box, you know, say that was in the low corner, okay? It's a big surface. We're easily going to be able to place a bigger case on it and play catch up with the inside. But here, no, you don't want to play catch up like this. Guys, what I mean by catch up is like trying to get the outside higher again. So let's say we get a bunch more of these boxes and we put another one here and a smaller case on the inside. Well, the more column stacking you get going, the more likely your palette's going to tip over. So just focus on those high corners. Cans on its side. I'm not a fan of putting any cases on their side, really, but cans, sometimes this wrapping around there is loose, so if you put weight on it, sometimes you can get those cans to shift around and possibly fall out of the package. It doesn't look like it's going to happen here. If I do put cans on their side, I focus on putting lighter cases on there because then it won't have the any chance of those cans getting damaged or whatever, because that's another problem is that you could dent the cans, and a lot of people don't buy dented cans. I always just try to keep that in mind. Your case right here is hanging off the pallet. It doesn't look like it's by much, but guys, a lot of these cases that are hanging off the pallets can be prevented. You have room on the inside. People just throw cases down and I'm not saying you got to be precisely to the end of the pallet, but you definitely don't want to be hanging out. But other than that, not a bad start to that base right there. This one right here, we got a few things I want to talk about. I don't know what this is right here. It looks like broth to me. Guys, I'm a firm believer all liquid should be upright. All right, the top of these got this little foam or silver film things with the little pop top. They could easily leak out. All right, even if it was a manufacturer defect, they can leak out and leak all over the product. So I am a firm believer of keeping liquids upright. I know why you did it, because you want to equal this case here. If we just would have turned this case facing in, remember this center line is your best friend. The more cases you have pointing towards that center line, the better, the stronger your palette's going to be, I promise you. So if we would have turned this case, kept this case upright, if it's broth, yeah, it would have been a little smaller, but we could have turned this case in, faced it in, and then we could have put your lemon juice on top of that case. And then the reason why I'm saying this is because this right here, I like your oils on the corner when you have multiples of them. But if it gets to the point where I only have one oil, I try to stick it in the middle because it's a tall case that's not going to line up with anything except for another oil, and we don't have any more. So I would have took this oil and I would have stuck it right where the lemon juice is at. I would have turned this case facing in. Lemon juice would have been on top of my broth, which that case would have been upright. And this case here would have been upright as well. You're doing this to try to equal the broth as close as possible. Guys, remember, cases are at their strongest points when they're upright, especially a long case like this. You are weakening this box by sticking it up on end like this. I don't agree with this. So this oil would have been in the middle because it's by itself, and honestly, it would have been pretty darn close to equal and up, and we could have probably had that level corner anyhow. Other than that, I like this. Sugars together, flour, whatever. Nice big box facing in. I like it. So everything I just said there, hopefully you comprehended all that. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I can't see a lot going on here, but the reason why I posted this is because we got this wave going on. Remember, you want cases to sit flat. If you are tying in from a high to a low like you are right here, it is not going to work out. All right, I promise you the little bit of a high to a low tie-in, you get this, and this corner looks weak back here. We could easily push this corner over. So make sure these cases are facing level. You got one of those waters where I just think pointing cases in. You have the case running this way, and it should be pointing in towards the middle of the pallet. The more cases you point into the middle of the pallet, the better, I promise you. This one here, you built perfectly. Really kind of hard to mess this up because we're all even. We got all the same cases here, all the same size cases, pretty much all the same size. So no problem there because everything's pretty much the same size. We got a 3 pallet order. I'm curious if these are all the same store. Let me know in the comment section below. These are all bigger boxes. There's really not a lot of cases here. So it seems like you're doing really good when you get the bigger boxes. I don't see too many issues with that. So we're going to scoop right past this. Let's go to the next one. Right away, obviously, I'm going to point this out. I'm curious, when you separated this pallet, the Rapid, did you drop your pallet? Why this is like this, I have no idea. What happened here? Leave in the comment section below. I don't know why we didn't come out to the outside of the pallet. Guys, remember, perimeter of the pallet in. We never build like this out. We always build from the perimeter of the pallet in. Other than that, you build a good pallet. All 3 of these are good pallets, except for this right here. Not quite sure why we did that. So let's move on to the next one. This one here, once again, not a bad pallet. All what I would have done here is don't do this here because we already got this corner sort of leaning out, and it is amazing. We're leaning out because of this right here, but it's amazing, just like a case being wedged into 2 columns like this. And as you're driving your jack, it will start pushing that out. But this fix right here would have been just separating these oils. So when you put these 3 oils down, okay, and we have this gap right here, take the 2 seconds just to move an oil over and just have equal gaps go throughout your harvest down here. So I would have had this here, I would have slid this one over a little bit, slid this one over a little bit, then put these white boxes on top. We would have been perfectly fine. Yeah, so, and then we could have slid this box down. Guys, don't be afraid to separate cases to fill in the holes. We're not going to find a case to fit in here. All what it would have took was just separating these 3 oils, and this pallet would have been that much better. All right, the last order I want to look at is this one right here, the last one. I'm curious if these are both the same order as well. Remember, guys, same thing here. This big case of oil, I would have put it right here. Right on the perimeter, I would have had open boxes or open slot right here for these small boxes. Remember, we don't have to fill in all of our gaps. If we know our warehouse and I know these lighter boxes are coming and they could be turned on their side, I'm going to move this all the way to the outside and I'm going to just save this for some smaller cases later. I like how you put your damaged box one in there. It doesn't mean the contents are damaged, just the box itself. Stick it in the middle of the pallet so we're not doing anything to jeopardize anything. I highly recommend not putting Coke up on its side. There's no pressure on it, which is a good thing. So it's not that big of a deal. But if you had pressure on it, I highly recommend not doing it. It's going to damage it, and we're not going to sell that case. Keep the cases down on it like you have the Sprite. Honestly, the 2 pops could have fit in here. The Sprite and the Coke could have fit in here if we would have slid this case over, if they are the same store. You're not doing bad. Keep posting your pictures. Just even something simple like this, guys. I know this is towards the top of the pallet, but I always like to point out everything. Something like this, if you're selecting in the warehouse and you get this small case and you get the big case, guys, take the half a second just to remove that small case to let this big flat case fit nice and flat on this white case. All right, and then throw this small case somewhere else. That's that touch once mentality that people teach, and I hate it. All right, because new selectors take that touch once mentality to heart, that I put this small case down, then I can put this big case down. Well, I can't touch that case again. I'm not allowed. Yes, you are. Just pull this little case out, let this big flat case sit down. It's the same thing that I said on the video breakdown, is having, like, whenever he removed the 2 smaller eggs and put that big egg down, it's the same concept. We want those big cases sitting lower on the pallet because it's just going to stabilize our pallet that much more. When you get little cases and you start putting heavier cases on top of it, that is when your pallet falls over. So please, guys, I understand the touch once mentality, but if it's to correct the pallet and make it that much stronger, and it's going to take you literally a second to do it, do it. All right, guys, I know that was a lot in those short period of time. I didn't want to make this video too much longer than it needed to be. Romeo, if you need more help or if you need any questions, just ask in the comment section below. Post more pictures over, and I'll put out another video, guys. Guys, if you want your own personal video for you and your orders, go over to Discord and just start uploading your pictures and tag me in there and tell me, hey, can you make a video to help me out? And I will. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.